everyone, welcome to Talya Full Tilt. I am Talya Ginsberg, and as always, we're getting right into it. So I recently have been reading into something I find super interesting. Apparently, our music taste is most influenced by what we listened to when we were teenagers. So when you are 8 years old, you are going to be mostly gravitating towards what you liked when you were like 13. So women, as an example, they found their peak influence is from between the ages of 11 to 14. Which obviously is also the age where most girls go through puberty. So it makes sense because it's the phase of your life of a lot of heightened emotions. Music is very correlated with emotions. And as one of the articles said, the teenage years, it's a lot of self-defining moments and looking for identity. And I think music can be a part of, like when you hear a song and it just brings you back to a specific memory, or I think it's very cinematic. It's everything feels very, like you're in a movie. So it definitely adds up. But the New York Times, they did a study. They looked at the Billboard charts, and as an example, they found that Just Like Heaven by The Cure was like number 11 most popular song amongst, I don't remember, but if I had to guess, it was women in their now like late 40s, which would have made them in that age bracket when Just Like Heaven first came out. So it totally tracks. It doesn't track for me. I got heavily into music in college anyway, so I feel like, and also I don't know if this is part of it, but I was also a late bloomer. As I mentioned on the show, I think I didn't get my first period until I was nearly 18 years old, and then also just like in all capacities, underdeveloped. So I think for me, more of those like who am I, self-identity moments was way more in college. So I would say I gravitate more towards those years, although college was like 2 years ago, so maybe that isn't so shocking. But funny enough, one of the bands that was and is big for me, The Cure. So I think that's really cool. That's like the awesome thing about the internet, is that it's no longer, the music you listen to is just whatever is most popular in this moment. Now, because of things like Spotify, you can really find the music that caters to you. So, your favorite song could be from 2023 or 1960 or independent music. It could be made in someone's basement across the country. And so I think that's really awesome. I'm sure like the only problem now with the accessibility is probably an oversaturation of people making music. So I'm sure it's very competitive, but overall I think it's a great thing. Like, you don't need to have an industry connection or an agent, although I'm sure that helps tremendously, but you can make your music and put it on the internet and hope it gets traction. So I think it's awesome. I'm sure there's a lot of artists we have today that we love that we normally wouldn't have without the internet, obviously. But speaking of music, I recently saw, my friends and I went to go see the Pixies in concert. If you're not familiar, go listen. But they're an alternative rock band that formed in the 1980s. They were an inspiration to Kurt Cobain. As an example, he liked their dynamic of, they do a lot of really soft and quiet and then really loud and hard, and that automatically makes me think of Heart-Shaped Box. I love Nirvana and I love the Pixies. And it's cool because there's, I guess, that little connection. It's kind of like, when you have a friend, then you meet your friend's friend and you love your friend's friend and you're like, obviously. Reminds me of that. But the Pixies were great. And as I said, they formed in the 1980s. And so I think for me, one of the coolest parts was just seeing the crazy age range in the audience, like people in their 50s. And then I saw a girl who was like 15 with her mom. And so I'm sure for the band, it's probably awesome to see that not only have they retained fans, but they're constantly getting new ones. Awesome. Fun fact, by the way. So Nirvana has a very famous album, Nevermind, one word. So then, the phrase Nevermind, like, forget about it, is 2 words. Never space mind, 2 words. Nevermind the album, 1 word. So apparently there's a connection between the album coming out and an increase in the use of people spelling Nevermind as 1 word. How cool is that? How many bands can say they changed spelling? So there you go, everyone. Go listen to the Pixies. Go listen to Nirvana. This little song you probably haven't heard of, Smells Like Teen Spirit, kind of popular. But yeah, well, although the thing is, Pixies, I'm pretty sure their name is Pixies, but when I read about them, it's the Pixies. So Pixies or the Pixies. Type in Pixies. Anyway, thank you, everybody. This has been fun as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye!